welcome to another episode of the True Blue RiffTrax. I am Jeremy, and I am joined, of course, by...
Hey, everybody, it's me, Dave. I'm joined by Jeremy, like always.
Dave!
What?
Dave, what are you crinkling now?
What the hell are you talking about?
What do you have?
What do I have?
I hear something.
Oh!
That.
I'm eating marshmallows, you bastard. What do you... do you have a problem with me eating marshmallows now?
Yes.
You can hear that, really?
Yes.
Ah, fine.
Move the bag. Put it out of arm's reach.
I want to eat these.
Well, you have to wait.
Okay, hang on. Yes, I eat marshmallows because I'm 5. Deal with it. They're over on the other side of the room now. Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So, aside from marshmallows, how's it been going, Dave?
Oh, man, dude. I went on an evening stroll right before we started recording here, right? And I just go to this park that's by my house out here in the boonies, and I walk back. And on the way back, I found some litter. And this litter was like this child's bottle, but it was shaped like a pink dinosaur. And it kind of broke my heart that this thing had been discarded. So I picked it up, and I was like, okay. And there was still like some liquid in it.
Did you taste it?
Don't get ahead of the story. So it'd be like, oh, this is cool. I can like draw this because I like drawing weird stuff that I find on the ground. Anyway, so I open it up and it's full, and I didn't smell it before I threw it out, right?
Yeah.
And so I threw it out, and it was this very strange color. It's just like this weird, kind of like dark off yellow, and I was like, oh no, please say this didn't have urine in it, right? And it's like it's this child's bottle, a pink dinosaur, and it has a thing at the top where obviously it's made for a child to drink. And I smelled to it. It's like, oh, whoa, that is not urine. That is clearly Jack Daniels. And I'm like, okay, so there's a number of explanations as to how this could have happened. The funniest and the most tragic is that someone was trying to feed their daughter. It was a pink dinosaur, Jack Daniels. The child rejected it and threw it away because it was still full. Just like, oh, geez. But anyway, so I rescued a pink dinosaur toy that had Jack Daniels in it, and that's my hilarious story for the evening.
Lovely. Oh, man, that kind of hurts my brain a little bit. I'm not even gonna think about that. We're just gonna move on to headlines.
Headlines.
So up first, we do have kind of a serious note. Frank Conniff, everybody knows him as TV's Frank, and he still tours with Trace, and he did the MST reunion show and whatnot.
The Mads are back.
Yes, he had open heart surgery kind of unexpectedly. But everything went well. According to Michael Conniff, he says, I just visited my brother in Lenox Hill, and he's doing well, though with some expected discomfort. All of the pipes are clear, his heart is pumping on its own, and he's been actually walking around in the ICU. So TV's Frank is on the mend.
That's not a very funny story.
No, not at all.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Frank has always been extreme. I mean, like, not that I'm like some big, super important person, but he's always been very, very nice to me personally. So, I mean, Frank, you're a great guy. We love you here, and we really hope that, you get doing better, honestly.
Yes, we wish you the speediest of recoveries.
We're going to go from that right into this.
Yes. Jason, our wonderful resident artist for RiffTrax, has made an announcement that they are putting up some of his poster designs on their Threadless store, rifftrax.threadless.com, for you to buy on T-shirts or posters or other fun little things like stickers and whatnot.
Now, I love how he announced it. I love how he went into True Blue. Be like, hey guys, do you think this is something you might be interested in? He said it to a group of 700 RiffTrax fans. And we're all just like, yeah.
Yes, we want this and this and this and this, and do it.
And then just be like, well, if you're interested, put down in the comments what you would like. And this thing fills up to like, I don't know at last count, but just like, it's like one of the most commented on and long, like really long comments in like the history of the whole group. Because like, yes, of course we want this.
Of course we do.
RiffTrax does not have enough merch. I got to say that. I feel like you guys need more merch, more shirts, more stuff.
Yes. Surprise. What, like 2 hours later, 3 hours later, they posted that, hey, guess what? Here's some of our designs from Jason up on the Threadless store.
Some of those selections,
They put up the Samurai Cop artwork, Killers from Space, and Gamera.
I thought the Killers from Space design was interesting. Now, it's a great design, and it's a great visual, and it's a great movie and riff. But it's like, not as like iconic as some of the other things that they could have put up there. Well, I mean, which is fine.
Yeah.
But it's just like, oh, Killers from Space, really? You're gonna open with one of those? I mean, that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
Now the Samurai Cop one, I think I'm gonna get. Yeah, that one I think because it's iconic RiffTrax, and the movie is just great. So what Jeremy and I did. You guys don't know what goes on behind the scenes over here, right? Me here in Utah and Jeremy over there in Michigan. We spent the last half hour compiling a list of the shirts that we each want. And Jeremy's going to go through his first, and every one that he wants that I want, I'll just go ding ding. That means I want that one as well.
Going through what I found: Ice Cream Man,
ding ding,
Berserker, Hell's Warrior. No Retreat, No Surrender, which is my personal favorite riff of all time. Spiker.
Ding, ding.
One of the big surprises. The poster for the, or artwork for the Santa Claus live show. Santa's Village of Madness.
Ding, 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 ding.
Star Wars The Last Jedi.
Ding, ding.
And Starship Invasions.
Ding, ding.
With Kung Fu Space Cobra onesie Christopher Lee on the front.
I think that's one of the. I honestly think that we're gonna have Jason on the podcast at some point.
Oh, we have to.
Yeah, and to talk about his designs, and I think just like of all the hundreds of these designs that he's done, the Starship Invasions ones, like in particular, is just like he chose like the best image you possibly could of Christopher Lee. Just like, I'm coming at you.
It's great.
It's awesome. So here's my list. And keep in mind, this was weeded down from probably list probably three times as long.
Yeah.
Okay? Invasion of the Animal People.
Ding ding.
Psychotronic Man.
Ding ding.
Octoman.
Ding ding.
Oh my gosh, you're gonna have Rock and Roll Nightmare.
Yes. I'm not even going to say ding for that. That is a yes, because I freaking love that one.
Roller Gator. I know that.
Ding, ding, ding. We were both kind of arguing who got to do that.
Yeah, and it's got to be me, because everyone in the group hates me for how much I love that. But I kind of egg it on, so it's okay. Ruby. The Force Awakens.
Ding, ding.
The Apple. The Guy from Harlem.
Ding, ding.
Buffalo Rider. Cool as Ice. And Ghost House.
Ding, 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 ding.
So those are. So you can also kind of tell like what our taste in riffs are from all that. I would buy all those.
There's too much to choose from.
It's a cornucopia, really.
Basically, whatever they put up will probably be interesting.
Oh yeah, like you said, we need more RiffTrax. More RiffTrax merch. Oh, yeah. But do you want to know what doesn't need more merch out there? That's kind of like not really apparent in popular culture anymore. It's a thing called the banana splits.
Yeah.
I'm going to let Jeremy take the lead on this one, because when he showed it to me, at first, I thought it was some kind of hilarious joke. No, it's very real.
For some reason, they thought that we needed a Banana Splits reboot. However, this time, it's going the way of Five Nights at Freddy's, kind of. Like, it takes place back, when the Banana Splits were a thing. At least partially. I don't know if it goes to, a different time period or not, but we only saw that that time period. And this little boy, he was super excited, and for his birthday, he got tickets to go see the Banana Splits. And
oh my god,
turns out that they're killer cyborgs, animatronics, androids. I don't know what they're supposed to be exactly, but they're murdering people and taking kids and doing
killing children.
It looks so bad, like not even in like a Sharknado type of way.
No, this is like, you could tell that they're dead serious about this.
Yeah,
and they think that they think they're hilarious, and this is going to be great. No, look. Okay, damn it. If you're going to do something like this, make some shit up. Okay, yeah. That's just like, and it says the Banana Splits movie.
There's nothing indicating that this is going to be a horror thing. You just see, the Banana Splits, hey.
If you didn't see the trailer and you're just at the movie like, what should we see? Oh, the Banana Splits movie. Come on, little Johnny and little Jane and whatever dumb things we name our children. Let's go see this movie about the Banana Splits that, we maybe watched when we were kids.
Come on, Colton.
Yeah, it's like, so here we go. Sit in and be like, the Banana Splits, you guys watched this when you were kids, Mom and Dad? You psychos? Like, what the F is wrong with you?
Yeah, that's we'll have the link in the description for this episode.
It's terrible. It's like hard pass.
Yes, definite hard pass. Speaking of hard passes, it looks like everyone passed on the movies this weekend because this is not a good weekend for the box office. Number one movie, Men in Black International, barely beating out Secret Life of Pets 2.
And everyone hates it.
Men in Black International. Okay, just a quick little history here. The Men in Black franchise, the previous 3 movies, even the second one, that was way terrible, they all made over $50 million their opening weekend. Men in Black International made $28.5 million.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's terrible. Secret Life of Pets 2 brought in almost $24 million. Aladdin came in at third again. Dark Phoenix and Rocket Man. And the other new movie that opened this weekend, at least the other wide release, Shaft, made a paltry 8.3.
Shaft opened at number, 8?
6.
Oh. And Dark Phoenix is down to 4 already.
Yeah. It only made $9 million. It did a 72% drop-off from last week.
Dude, this is bad.
It's really bad.
I don't even know if the movies are really that bad, but just in terms of just like money, this is terrible.
Yeah, and Endgame made another $3.5 million.
Oh, really? Did it? I wonder if everybody went to go see it for the 9th time. I think that was a thing. We were talking about this before. Is that I think that like a lot of people saw Endgame. They saw Endgame a million times, right? Yeah. And then I think maybe a lot of people have just noped out because they've been to the movies so much because of Endgame. I'm being serious.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you saw it how many times? I know you've seen it at least 3.
I saw it 3. I saw it once on opening weekend with my wife and my son and my son's best friend. Mm-hmm. And then the next weekend I took my son to go see it. And then the next day I took my wife to go see it because she wanted to see it again too.
I mean, like, I honestly thought Men in Black 4 would do pretty well because it has my 2 favorite people from Thor Ragnarok in it. So it's going to be funny, but I guess the star power of Tessa Thompson just wasn't good enough.
Yeah, that's not great. Of course, the box office will get a little injection soon. We've got Spider-Man opening over the 4th of July.
Yeah, that's going to be big.
That's going to be big. And then Toy Story 4, which the early word on that is actually that it's really good. Like,
I don't know how it can be better than Toy Story 3, but I think it's probably going to try. So
yeah, and it's going to make a butt ton of money.
Yeah, it's going to be really, really good.
Yeah, it's
going to make Disney a butt ton of money. Like like they need it.
Yeah, like they need even more after $830 million for Avengers Endgame, and that's just domestic. Crazy.
Yeah.
That's lots of terrible, terrible movies. Speaking of terrible movies, Let's go in right now to today's short review of RiffTrax shorts. Yes. So today is kind of different because most of these have been ones that I wrote a little while ago for the website, pbandawesome.com. Just throw that in there. But today my plans changed because, as you know, we record these on Sundays. So the day we're recording this is Father's Day, and as they did for Mother's Day, RiffTrax released a new short from Bridget Nelson and Mary Jo Peel.
Yeah, they released it today, this day. So yes. I haven't even seen it. I didn't even know it was a thing until Jeremy told me that he was reviewing it for the podcast. I was like, okay.
Yeah, I just sent him a message. I'm like, well, I'm not doing this other one now. And he's like, I was like, yeah, they released a new short today, so I'm going to do that one.
And then I said, oh, great. I'll be able to feign like I haven't seen it because I actually haven't. So.
Yeah, so it'll be real easy. So this new short is called What Mary Jo Shared, and it was released on June 16th, 2019.
That day sounds familiar.
Yeah. Do you remember Show and Tell? Or
no.
Sharing, as they called it in this short? I do, but I only really remember one, and that was the year that I took my Megatron that I got for Christmas to school, and of course got in trouble for bringing a toy gun to school.
That's a thing that happened?
Oh, yeah. That was not too long after that kid got shot by the police with the laser tag pistol.
What? These are stories you'll have to tell me later.
Back in the 80s, Whew. Mary Jo didn't have a Megatron to take and share with her class. She didn't even have a dog. In fact, she didn't take anything to share at school ever. Not her dolls, not her elephants, not a single thing. When she did finally have something she wanted to take, someone else had a better version of the same thing. She got a new umbrella, so she wanted to take that to share. And of course, the day she does it, it's a rainy day, and everybody has their umbrellas, and they all look nicer than hers. Or the day she wanted to take a grasshopper that her brother caught for her, another kid brought a jar with a bigger grasshopper in it. And honestly, when it got to this part, I really thought that it was going to show her waking up the next day and the grasshopper was just going to be dead in the jar.
That's how it goes.
Yeah, like anytime you ever caught fireflies as a kid, you'd wake up the next morning, you'd check the jar, they'd all be dead.
You killed them. But that's okay because they don't really have consciousness, so, whatever.
When she did finally settle on something, she took the easy way out. She picked her dad. Hence the Father's Day tie-in. When the other kids saw him, that they were all thinking in their head that they were angry that they didn't think of it first.
To bring her dad?
To bring their own dad.
Oh, okay.
Because now nobody else can do it, because it'd be like, oh, you're copying Mary Jo. Look, this is a short. It's based on a kid's book. They've actually done another one called What Mary Jo Wants or Wanted. And that one is about her wanting a dog.
Yeah, I've seen that one.
Yeah. It's not a terrible short. I mean, the music is a little bit sad sounding.
Sounds cruel as hell. It sounds like Norman.
As the real Mary Jo says that it sounds like it's dead pet music. But other than that, it's a pretty cute short. Now, for stuff like this, Bridget and Mary Jo are absolutely the perfect pair. They have a good way of delivering nice but still funny lines. Don't get me wrong, they can bring it.
Oh, yeah, they're mean as hell.
The movie or short calls for it. But in this one, they have that perfect level of nice. Nothing is really mean-spirited or too harsh, and I still laughed my butt off. This was a wonderful short for them to release for Father's Day. I give it 4 grasshoppers in a jar out of 5.
Yay. Bridget is probably the nicest human being that has ever walked on the face of the planet. Yeah. And Bridget, you need to come on our show.
She is,
yes, she is, yeah. I can't say enough nice things about Bridget Nelson.
Yes. And Mary Jo.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
Also very nice. She's also a wonderful person. So we're going to go from the shorts now to the not-so-shorts. Dave, what do you have for us today?
Well, I am not happy about this. Over on Friday, Jeremy sends me a message like, Happy New Release Day. And I was like, oh, for real? Yes. And we go and we find it's this thing called Yesterday's Target. and we see when we're treated to an image of Daniel Baldwin. Red red
Red flag.
flags should have
That was
started
my
popping up immediately.
that was my first thought. I'm like, oh my god, it's got a Baldwin.
All right, now let me tell you who's in this thing. Daniel Baldwin, Stacey Hudak, whoever that is, it doesn't matter. T.K. Carter, also, who cares? Who gives an F? Richard Hurd, whom I thought looked very familiar. Turns out he is George's sub boss in Seinfeld. When he worked at the Yankees, he's what is that guy's name? He's Mr. Wilhelm is his name. He's Mr. Wilhelm in Seinfeld.
Lovely.
LeVar Burton. I don't know how in the year. What year was this released? 1996. Okay. So this is after Star Trek: The Next Generation. This is after his success with Reading Rainbow. And what was the name of that miniseries that he was in, that television?
Roots.
After Roots, after Reading Rainbow, after freaking Star Trek: The Next Generation, this guy gets fifth billing behind Richard Hurd, T.K. Carter, and Stacey Hudak, and Daniel Baldwin. And the thing is that he's a clairvoyant bounty hunter, and the movie is mostly about him, So, and then after that, it's Malcolm McDowell, which, I don't know why I keep getting surprised when I see Malcolm McDowell in RiffTrax movies just slumming it up. It's like him and I don't know, him and David Warner. Whenever they they're like the John Carradines of RiffTrax. They're always just coming up. They're always just you remember in Ice Cream Man when we saw David Warner just appear for 2 seconds? It's just and then Mike says well, there really is no role I won't take there, is there? Right? That was Mike's joke. It's true.
Yeah.
They're all over the place in these B movie, these 90s direct to DVD. And here's the thing, they don't have to take these roles. They don't. No. One explanation I've heard about this phenomenon is that the British, because they're better than us, especially British actors, they tend to look at acting as work, and they have a different kind of work ethic. So they'll just if they're not busy, they're like, oh yeah, I'll go. No role is beneath them. They'll do anything, which is fine. But when to our sensibilities, you see these huge stars, Malcolm McDowell and David Warner are huge names, and to see them in things like Yesterday's Target and Ice Cream Man. I mean, LeVar Burton and Malcolm McDowell shared 3 scenes in Star Trek Generations where Malcolm McDowell is torturing LeVar Burton. Right, and they share scenes in Yesterday's Target, and also in this is Trevor Goddard, who his main claim to fame is being Kano from Mortal Kombat, in which he is outstanding. But other than that, there's really nobody else here to really speak of. Basically, the movie is X-Men without the X-Men. It's boring and plotting as hell. And also when they it's another trope within RiffTrax movies of this type. Anytime they go into a interior, everyone just forgets how to turn on the damn lights, and it's just completely pitch black. And that's for at least half the movie. You're in your complete darkness. It's hey, thanks for making me feel like total garbage. Yesterday's Target. I'm gonna go and get a sunburn to try to maybe get some of my life back. It's a terrible, terrible movie. The riffs are really funny. Especially I think it's probably one of the better let's riff over the opening credits bits that they've done in a long time, because I kind of have to do that with every movie, and sometimes they can go faster than others do, but this one was actually really, really, really done well. And there's lots of really good references, lots of stuff to kind of RiffTrax is, if RiffTrax is able to keep you with the movie and with them and everything and not screw this, I'm going to go do something else, then that's a victory. And they were able to do that. So it's I would say I would give this riff B, probably B minus. Probably not as. I mean, it's a better selection. It's better in movie selection than The Power, or the one that came immediately before that, Giant from the Unknown. So like the movie selection, as far as like I said, we all love pancakes, but just like they're getting progressively better to watch, like the movies just themselves. But not by, it's very incremental. It's not by very much. But yeah. Have you seen it yet?
I have not watched it, no. But I will give you a little bit of info here.
Yeah.
So the movie was a made-for-TV film.
What? They put this on TV?
Oh yeah, made for TV on April 28th, 1996. It is currently sitting at a 4.7 out of 10 rating.
Oh, I can't imagine.
And the previous movie, The Power, is also sitting at a 4.7 out of 10.
What about Giant from the Unknown?
Giant from the Unknown. That one, believe it or not, is sitting at a 4.9.
Wow. Oh, wow. That because...
That's one of those movies that has that weird cult following for no reason whatsoever.
Yeah, well, you want to know why? Because it's terrible. I mean, like, dude, at least Zombie, I Eat Your Skin. Dude, I love that movie. I love that riff. I love everything about that. Give us more of that, RiffTrax. That is like the perfect RiffTrax movie. But I would say this is a B minus. I mean, I'm not trying to be critical or anything like that, but it was kind of hard to choke down. But I mean, in a project of this nature, that's going to happen, know, and I understand that. That's what I signed up for. Who directed this? So I know who to blame. Barry Sampson. He also. Look. He has six movies, and I got to tell you what. The names of some of these don't surprise me at all. Ice Pawn. The Ice Runner, The Good Life. Okay, I think that's enough of that. The other two is like a TV series. Jane So-and-So. Yeah, I bet that was terrible.
SEW and So. That's a series. It's an interactive sewing program targeting a teen audience from 13 to 16, being a green show about recycling and building self-esteem.
Wow, yeah. So, hey, guess what? Guess what, director?
No wonder that one only lasted for one season.
Hey, guess what, director of yesterday's Target? I hate you anyway. So you can direct stupid BS eco yarning shows for girls, and you get what you deserve.
And still have them turn out terribly.
Yes. Now moving from that to something that is excellent. One of the most fantastic. Probably the movie where, I won't say probably, it's definitely the movie where our modern popular culture probably began. And that is The Wizard of Oz.
The Wizard of Oz.
I put this on about a week ago. RiffTrax lately, since 2013 on, has been pretty much VOD, not VOD only, but the MP3s have become a special occasion. And The Wizard of Oz came out in 1939. Everybody knows about The Wizard of Oz and how it changed everything about the movies, and it should have. And it's like this, still to this day, a popular culture phenomenon that really can only be equaled by Star Wars. You go back and just like, it's hard to really say just like how much impact The Wizard of Oz had and continues to have. So now when RiffTrax was doing MP3s, or MP3s only, or even when there was that time from 2011 through the end of 2012 when it was this mix of MP3s and VODs. The VODs, the MP3s were always very high energy. They always had this very electric kind of feel. And I think that's why a lot of people kind of got addicted to RiffTrax, honestly. Other than it being the alumni project of MST3K, even though I feel like it's kind of grown beyond that now. It was just like you had this great feel of watching these awesome things, these pinnacles of popular culture with your friends Mike, Kevin, and Bill. Very exciting thing because it just brings you so much closer to them as people. And it just adds so much more to the movie itself, to the point where the experience with the RiffTrax is completely independent from the movie itself. It's its own cool thing.
Yeah.
For the last 6 years, it's just been VODs, which is fine. But this came out in 2014. It was the very first the season premiere, if you will, in 2014. So it's about five. It's 5 years old now, which is freaking amazing to me. Because it feels like just yesterday when they're making a big deal about their Wizard of Oz riff. Right. Connor told me a story about doing the Wizard of Oz. It's like they were trying to brainstorm, like what can we do to like really shake things up? And then Bill, just off the top of his head, would be like, why don't we do the Wizard of Oz? And it was just like a light went off, and they spent and the Wizard of Oz was just like this huge. They couldn't believe nobody had even thought of that before, to do the Wizard of Oz. And it's like they had they said, Connor said that they just had so much fun doing it and just like totally embracing and owning the Wizard of Oz as like this piece of RiffTrax. That's like bringing it in and making it part of RiffTrax was just like such a great, amazing experience. And it's really, I think, in 2014, my choice for Riff of the Year in 2014, and also my editor's choice award for the Riff Wiki, the RiffTrax Wiki. We're going to go do some rebranding, but that's neither here nor there for this discussion. It was The Last Slumber Party. 2014 had a lot of great stuff, but it started off amazingly well with the Wizard of Oz, and the riffing is just so like on point. And I just kind of like, as it went on, it was a lot like, I'm going to reference Star Wars Rogue One a lot probably on this podcast, just because how everything is so perfectly paced and it's electric and it's organic and it's just like everything just moves. You don't feel like the movie's dragging it all or the riff is dragging it all. It's one of those perfect riffs. That's what the Wizard of Oz is. The riff of the Wizard of Oz is another example of what perfect riffing is. I mean, it's just like, and to add all that, they're able to use all this imagery and references of stuff that the Wizard of Oz has given us since its inception in 1939. And just like everything, it's really a great, awesome RiffTrax experience. And I hadn't done it in a while, and I was surprised that I'd forgotten so much about this awesome, awesome thing. And I was like watching it again for the first time, and it's just like, that is an A+ riff right there. It's one of my essentials, and I'm just really glad I watched it again. And I wanted to, even before it was over, I was in True Blue RiffTrax. I was just like, hey, I'm watching The Wizard of Oz. I love RiffTrax so much. It's like, I love having that feeling of, oh man, I love being a RiffTrax fan. Being a RiffTrax fan is part of what defines me, and this is why. I really love that feeling of like, hooray, kind of like RiffTrax, when RiffTrax can make me feel like that, and that's what this one did. And I was just like, oh yes, ooh, RiffTrax, go! It's awesome. So, I mean, I don't know if I can put the movie over or the riff over any better than that. That's the other riff that I wanted to talk about this week, and that's what I wanted to say about it. Yeah,
it really is greatness for RiffTrax. Like you said, 2014, there was some great releases.
Awesome. I mean, awesome.
You already mentioned Last Slumber Party. That was the year where they did the Godzilla live show and Anaconda. Fun in Balloon Land was released that year. Rotor, they did the Santa Claus live show. Hawk the Slayer came out that year. Zindy the Swamp Boy.
I got to talk about that someday. I'm going to put that on my list of VODs I want to talk about. Anyway,
They did the Total Riff Off that year, the first one.
Amazing.
They released the Super Mario Brothers movie that year. Like, there's so much good, and The Wizard of Oz is right up at the top.
Right, like right up at the top. Like I would say that, like, in 2014 now, if you're going back thinking, I'm probably just because I just watched The Wizard of Oz. I'd probably put The Wizard of Oz at the very top. Then Slumber Party. I know lots of people. I'm not going to crap on Fun in Balloon Land because I know lots of people like it, and so it must be doing lots of stuff right. I can't really get into it as much as other people do, But hey, if it's your thing, it's your thing. You know. But Super Mario Brothers, like you said, you know, something that I think gets forgotten is Fist of Fury.
Yeah. Yeah, they did a Bruce Lee movie, guys.
Yeah, and it's like it's amazing. Yeah, I mean, just like at some point we're gonna have to do a podcast where, like, especially me, because like I'm just like overflowing with like RiffTrax information, especially like the timeline and like where everything fits and what happened in like each particular year, because I tend to look at RiffTrax in years, in like seasons and stuff like that. Like I can like break down each year and be like, okay, this was the feel for this, and we have a flow, this, and that. So at some point, I think that we need to do like a breakdown of like RiffTrax in 2006 and 2000. I got the hiccups now. This sucks. Anyway, that's all I got. That's probably going to get edited down a bit.
Yeah, maybe just a little. Well, that looks like that's it for us this week, especially since Dave has the hiccups.
Yeah, I got the hiccups now.
I have to remember before I get lambasted about this on Twitter again. Margot, are you listening? Margot,
we love you.
Thank you so much for the RiffTrax Live coasters and the Octoments that you sent me. It was a great surprise. I love them. I have them up on my shelf. They're all aired out and not stinky anymore. There was a weird printing thing, and they just rotted. Like, I don't know. At first, I thought maybe they were trying to go for the smell of Octoman, but it was just a printing thing, and it was bad. And you just have to leave them out for a little bit. But I also have to mention there will be no new episode of the podcast next week. That's because I'm going on a super secret vacation with my family. And no, I can't tell you what it is yet because my son listens, and we're not telling them until the day before we go. But when we come back the following week, we are going to have our multi-part half-year in review.
Yeah. We've done this before. We did it last year, and it was just for the first months. Yes, it was like for the first 6 months of 2018. And Jeremy, how long were we gassing on about everything?
Well, the end result was over 2 hours, but we were using the Anchor app at that point, which was still pretty new, and it died on us twice because we went on for so long that it just stopped recording. It's like, no, I'm out.
That's like, no, screw you. Like, screw you, RiffTrax nerds. Come back at me with Haunted Ween. Google it.
Yeah. But we were very long-winded in that one. If we get long like that this time, then we will split it up into more than one episode, just so it's a little bit easier to digest.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's gonna do it. Something.
Just like that.
Just like that.
Margo, when are you gonna send me some stuff? You bastard. Yeah, like, why is Jeremy get all the love?
Yeah, Twitter mom. Dave wants some too.
Yeah. I'm just kidding. We love you, Margo.
Yes, we do. You're a wonderful RiffTrax fan and a wonderful person. But yeah, I'm Jeremy. You can find me at pbandawesome.com. You can send me an email, jeremy@pbandawesome.com. You can find me on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube at pbandawesome. And if you click on the episode description, there's a little thing there that says to leave us a voice message. Do it. And if we like it, we'll put it on the podcast.
So we probably won't put it on the podcast. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Oh, and as for me, my name's Dave, a.k.a. Sugar Ray Dodge. Check me out on the web at sugarraydodge.com. Send me emails at sugarraydodge@gmail.com. I do the Mystery Science Storybook series. I'm also a graphic designer, and I wrestle locally as Charlie B. Search for me on Facebook under Sugar Ray Dodge or Charlie B, and I'll pop right up if you want to see all the other crazy stuff I'm doing.
We'll see you guys next time.
See ya.
Wait, what?